Good morning, guys. Before I actually get into the goods of this video and share with you guys my exact method for creating a high ticket sales funnel for all of my coaching clients, I'm just getting ready for the day. I just got back from the gym, so I'm just gonna make a quick yogurt bowl for breakfast. I generally like having the mornings to myself as just kind of a time for me to get into the day and get into the groove of the day, because I feel like there is so many things in life that we always just put on hold simply because we don't have time. But I think that is all just rubbish, and to be honest, I genuinely am just so grateful that the career I have as a business owner, as a freelancer, as someone who works with a bunch of different clients all over the world, being able to choose my own schedule and actually when I work and when I'm the most productive has been honestly the most grateful experience that I can ever ask for as someone who graduated college and kind of went on this adventure to Asia to kind of find what I wanted to do with my life and finding my place in the design world and the marketing world, and being able to share all of my knowledge with my clients and also being able to choose my schedule, I think has just given me so much more balance and so much more fulfillment. So today I obviously went to the gym in the morning, and then now I'm just having a slow morning to myself, making breakfast, and I am making a yogurt bowl, which is going to be really delicious. This is probably one of my favorite things to make for breakfast if I am making breakfast that day. Most days I typically intermittent fast and don't have my first meal until at least noon, or even 1 or 2 sometimes. But if I go to the gym early in the morning, then I definitely feel like I need to eat something before I get into work and get into the day. So while I'm making breakfast, I'm just going to talk to you about what you guys came here for, and later on in this video I will be showing you my exact process for creating a high ticket sales funnel and my entire diagramming process, which is a very critical and a very important part of creating a sales funnel as a coach, because it allows you to actually see all of the different touch points you need to create to support your clients and nurture them towards eventually purchasing one-on-one coaching or one of your programs, or actually working with you or investing in one of your services. And so a sales funnel approach to actually getting people into your coaching business is so important, because the main purpose of it is to actually nurture your audience from when they have no idea who you are to eventually loving and sharing your actual knowledge with the world, with their friends, and with other followers that follow them. I have worked with several coaches from the health and wellness space to the actual business and personal development space, and I cannot stress enough how important an effective high ticket sales funnel approach to marketing is. Every single product you offer and every single landing page or sales page you design needs to have an automated system that supports it on the back end. As a one person, if you are a team of one at the moment, it is impossible to function as the person who's sending the emails, function as the person who's onboarding, function as the person who's doing all of the marketing. And so having an automated system in place that allows you to take a back seat but know that your clients are taken care of as they move down your funnel and become more nurtured to your offerings, the more you can actually convert your clients and convert sales. So now that breakfast is ready, I am just gonna go sit down and watch a bit of Modern Family. I feel like Modern Family is the best in between work show to watch because it's very lighthearted and doesn't really require much brain energy, but it's still a really nice show to watch, just, to enjoy your meal and kind of take a break from work. Okay, so back to what I was talking about before I got distracted by the fact that my breakfast was ready and Modern Family. Essentially talking about funnels and workflow diagrams. Later on in this video, when I open up my laptop and kind of jump into work, I will be showing you guys my exact diagramming strategy. So this is something that a lot of people who work with information systems do before they build anything, whether that be a web app or designing a landing page or creating a marketing funnel. The diagramming stage is so important because it manages all of the information in an organized system them so that you know exactly what is going on. And as a business owner and as a coach, there are so many moving parts in your business. So the diagramming stage is so important, which is why I will be covering the diagramming stage of the high ticket sales funnel. This is essentially the part that needs to happen before you design any landing pages, before you make any launches. You need to think about all of the different touch points you have as a coach so that when clients are coming to you as someone who's interested in one of your services or offerings, there is a very unique and clear next step that needs to happen for them to then be one step closer to actually giving you their credit card details to purchase. If what I'm saying right now sounds really complex, don't worry, because later on I will actually be sharing my screen and actually doing a diagram with you. One of my amazing friends, Natalia, actually gave me permission to use the diagram we made for her fitness coaching business as this demo example. So I'm really excited for you to actually see how I proceed when I start working with a client before we start designing any landing pages, before we start creating any marketing strategies. I always start in the diagramming phase because it is so essential. It is the foundation of every single thing you need to create and any other marketing material you need to create as a coach when you're trying to actually attract your dream clients. So now that I finished breakfast, I am headed to my desk, well actually my dining table. Gonna open up my laptop and show you guys around. So now that I'm on my laptop, I'm just gonna go ahead and open Chrome, and then I'm gonna go to diagrams.net. So this is essentially a diagramming software that I use to map out all funnels that I'm making for my clients. And honestly, it just helps you really set the foundation of all of the things you need to create at different stages of the funnel as a fitness instructor, coach, or wellness professional. I'm just gonna go ahead and click create new diagram. And there are a bunch of different workflows that you can start to create. But for this video particularly, I'm just gonna start with a blank diagram because obviously I know we would like to start from scratch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rename the diagram. I'm gonna be naming it Dynamic Training Demo. Essentially, I'm gonna be using one of my clients and friend as an example to kind of show you guys the entire workflow process as a fitness instructor. So Natalia is the owner of Dynamic Training Fitness, and you can find her at dynamictrainingfitness.com or on Instagram at dynamictraining.fitness. So going into the workflow diagram, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with a text button. The first thing I want you to do is to write in your main offerings. As a business, as a trainer, you obviously have all of the different offerings that you have, and I want you to write that down just as a starting point to make sure that we are on top of everything that you offer as a fitness instructor. The next thing you'll want to do is then actually list all of your main offerings. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click the rectangle, and this is how I will actually map out all of the different main offerings that we have. So specifically for dynamic training, we have Dynamic On Demand, which is a subscription channel. From there, I then like to color code my text boxes. So for this one, I'm just gonna choose one of the colors I have in my color palette, and then change the text to white just so it looks a little bit more pretty to look at. I then duplicate that exact same rectangle and then start filling it out with other offerings that she has. So she has a Dynamic Live, which essentially is Dynamic On Demand plus live classes, and then she also has a one-on-one coaching. So these are the three primary main offerings that she has as a trainer, and then from there we can move on into actually mapping out the funnel based on these main offerings. From there, I'm gonna then duplicate the text just so the style stays consistent throughout the entire diagram, and then I'm gonna change this text to actually say where Dynamic Training's audience can actually find her. So all of the different touch points I want to list underneath here, similar to what we did above, but we're primarily going to focus on all of the different social media platforms or areas where a cold audience can find you. So these are things like Instagram, other social media platforms like Facebook, or perhaps clients are coming to you through referrals, or maybe even a YouTube channel. This is a really good thing to write down because then it will allow you to achieve clarity on how people are actually finding you as a brand and how they're being introduced to you. Really quickly, before I move on to the next part, I'm just going to highlight all of these text boxes and actually change the fill color just so I kind of have separation of different areas of the funnel. I don't know, I'm a very visual person, so colors make all of the difference, especially when you're creating workflow diagrams. And I've been doing this for a very long time, so color coding I think just is a really great way to separate all of the information that is coming. So the next thing, what you'll want to do is actually write down where your audience goes once they find you. At this point, they've already stalked you on Instagram, they've already visited your website, they already watched a YouTube video, but what happens next? Specifically for dynamic, the main action we wanted a cold audience to take was to opt into her newsletter to slowly start building her email list. So to actually increase this conversion, the main thing we wanted to offer was a freebie. This essentially signifies that they're going from a cold prospect to actually an interested buyer by going a stage deeper into your funnel by giving you their contact details. And then again, before I go any further, I want to just change the color of the text box just so I can just keep it all visual and clean and keep all of the different areas of the funnel separated based on colors. The next thing I want to do is then actually connect these 2 points with an arrow so then I can actually visually see what happens after they find me on Instagram or Facebook or via referral or via YouTube. After they find me through this, the next step is then to opt in to the newsletter. Essentially, it's really easy. You just click the arrow and then drag until it meets the certain point that you want it to connect to. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and duplicate this same text box. You can either drag it from the toolbar or duplicate it. I'm just gonna duplicate it so the style matches, and then you'll want to write down what happens after this stage of the funnel. So they've opted into the newsletter, what happens next? So for Dynamics funnel specifically, the main thing we wanted them to do was to opt into the Facebook group, which is why I wrote join a public Facebook group. And then again, because I am a design freak and everything is visual for me, I'm going to change the color of that as well. And then once that's changed, I am then going to connect the two. So after they join the Facebook group, we'll need to start thinking about what happens next. So same as before, I'm just going to duplicate the same text box, and actually this time I'm going to create two because there are 2 actions that can happen after they join the Facebook group. So this may look different based on your own user journey as a coach, but for this client's actual business, the main thing we wanted them to do was either purchase a live workshop or purchase and complete the challenge. Again, I'm going to click the 2 and then change the fill color because I think it just makes a huge difference. Again, I know I've said this so many times before, but separating them and color coding everything is just a part of the way I work and helps me and helps my clients visualize the entire funnel process. I think because there's so much that needs to go on in the back end when creating a sales funnel, seeing a visual version just makes a big difference. So again, I'm going to connect the public Facebook group to these 2 next steps in the funnel because that is what happens after they join the Facebook group. They either can purchase the 21-day challenge or purchase a live workshop. Then I'm going to go back up to the top to the section with all of our main offerings and then copy all of the offerings that we have and paste them and move them over to the right-hand side as the next stage of the funnel. Essentially, the main thing we wanted for Dynamic was after they've already purchased something, we wanted to then upsell them to a higher ticket program or one of the different offerings that we have at Dynamic. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this over. I also added in a diamond shape with the word upsell in it just to signify something as a next step again in the funnel. And then because obviously I am a design freak, I'm just going to change the color again just so then we can actually visually see all of the different connections that need to happen before someone actually purchases a specific product or is actually interested in one of your offerings. This is all different parts of the customer journey that you need to think about as a coach, because if you're pitching your most expensive package to a cold audience, odds are they're not going to buy. So what we decided to map out was how can we actually nurture our audience step by step to actually then eventually go to one-on-one coaching or purchase Dynamic on Demand or purchase Dynamic Live, based on nurturing them from the very first touch point on Instagram, on Facebook, through referrals, on YouTube, and then slowly giving them lots of value as they move through the funnel, and then eventually are upsold on a higher ticket program. So that is essentially how I create a high ticket sales funnel for all of my coaching clients, and I really hope you found value in this video, because honestly I think the entire workflow and diagramming process is so critical to succeed as a coach, because you need to think about the entire customer lifetime value you have for all of your clients coming in. So I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below which part you liked the most and found the most value, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.